Midi.
Midi. Sorry.
No, all
What a
good.
project.
All good. Sorry to drag you away from the mill.
I just finally got the last op 2 running on the vacuum plate, and now Ricky is machinist stancing in front of it. Usually I prove it out first, then hand it over.
No.
But I was like, we're going to go.
Those
How's it
giant
going?
aluminium parts that you showed me. Flipping for op 2.
Yeah, by far. Not, oh, it's actually 9%. It's under 10%. So 91% removal of material.
They look good. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm really happy with how they turned out. It's just been an entire week of making 10 parts. But we've had no problems, no defects in any of them, which is pretty rare for me.
Good.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking about how much you told me they're worth and reverse engineering your week. What's that in AUD? USD,
Make it
yeah.
sound better.
Oh, yeah. It does make it sound better. Not too
Oh yeah,
bad. But I
always.
suppose you had to buy material. Material's expensive, I imagine. Were they the sticks? The 12-foot
Yeah,
sticks?
it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, okay.
Material wasn't. It wasn't bad because I bought it oversized, so I also had to. I posted a video of this. They were 8 inches wide. I needed them basically like 7 1/4, like normal
Yeah.
amounts, but you
Yeah.
don't get material like that unless it's cut for you. So to fit it on my pallet to do op one, I had to put it in the vise and skim off one edge really sketchily. Took about 13 mil off
Oh,
of
yeah.
just the edge.
Off
So
the
I had
edge.
op zero, op one, op two. I was like, all I was thinking was like, God, if I just had a table saw that could cut this, and just send these boards through.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
It's gone all right.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's up with you?
I was sitting here thinking about the layout of a new shed, workshop
Oh,
space, moving blocks around in Rhino, trying to work out how to
yo,
reduce the size of our workshop down to 25% of what it currently is. It's very snugly,
whoa,
but I think it can
two
work.
layers.
2 layers, yeah, stack them up. One robot passes up to the other robot, and that passes up to the mezzanine. No, it's not very high. The new shed plan. So yes, very much a single layer pancake, but yes, drawing overlapping reach diameters of robot arms and trying to be smart, trying to be as smart and multi-purpose about it as possible. Whilst, having not actually committed to these plans yet, just kind of, it's all still hypothetical, but needs to be done regardless.
It's so hard to make those decisions. Well, at least in this case, like I feel like often when I'm setting up a shop until maybe now, I always just had this like, well, I don't know what we're going to be doing. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what tools am I going to end up getting because we had like a chop saber and a track saw. I think when I moved into
Mm-hmm.
this space. Oh, and a router table. That was all I had, and a really crappy workbench made out of a door I found outside.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, that is a benefit. I've got a pretty clear idea of what I want to be producing in this shop. In the interim at least, while our product is focused as it
Yeah.
is. So yeah, it's always a fun game. I do like doing it. Um, yeah, thinking about layout, designing spaces. So yeah, I've been
Well, I'd
doing
like to
that.
see whenever you want to do it.
Yeah,
Whenever you
yeah.
share.
I'll share you. I'll send you some things. What else have I been doing? I just had Chatty help me through the final stages of my chatter sync set up because I got stuck on the last
Oh,
few
for which
settings.
machine?
I don't even know yet. No, I'll probably.
Theoretical machine.
I'm just happy to have flashed my first Raspberry Pi. That feels like a life
Mm,
achievement. I'll put
no
it on
kidding.
my
Yeah, it does.
resume. And yeah, ChatterSync is working, it seems. I can see it in VS Code. It's exciting. But I haven't actually plugged
Isn't
it
that
into a
crazy?
machine yet. But I
You can still
figure
send stuff to it.
that's the easy. Oh, that's what I did. Yeah, I just sent it from my laptop
Hello,
to the
world.
thing on my desk. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm not. Yeah, obviously the multicam has its own proprietary software on the PC where you can send files to it. It's probably fine. It sends it over Ethernet. So we only use SneakerNet USB thumb drive file
Hmm.
transfer if something's down with the network. But the Masso control and the pencil sharpener theoretically can do that too, but it's never worked. So we SneakerNet stuff to the Masso. So I'll probably try it on the pencil sharpener first. Do that. See if that works. Yeah.
Cool.
Noodling around.
I would, what's funny about these things is unless they've done some pretty extreme, which I just assume most haven't. Most of these manufacturers are not doing extreme like USB detection. The way he set it up, Pete is so smart, or maybe it's just standard, but basically just emulates a flash drive, and so like they can't detect that it's something else usually,
Yeah,
and so
nice.
it just shows up. What is interesting, and I noticed in the last week or so, so I was standing at my computer beside it that basically is air gapped because it can't connect to the mill unless it's through Chatter. Is I'll send the file and it takes it unmounts and then remounts as a drive. So I
Okay.
can't immediately see the drive because it's like disconnecting itself real quick while it receives the file through Wi-Fi.
Ah, right.
So there's something to that it's like not live, which is good I think because I don't think it allows you then to mess the file up while you're interacting with it again. I don't know.
That's something I'm curious about. Like, if I'm running the machine on off the fake USB drive and whilst
Yep.
trying to transfer to it, does that mean that doesn't work? Does that mean I'll lose the connection while
I
it's
don't.
transferring another file? Because
Are you trying to? I
I don't
don't.
know
So
how
like the
else I'd
way that
run
we
it.
use it,
Yeah,
the
how do
way
you
that
use it?
so do you run files directly from your USB right now?
I would if I had a USB. If I was sneaker netting it, then yes, I would. I've got
I don't
no
know if
means
that
of
works.
copying
Like,
it.
can't the mill or YCM does not allow us to use the USB as the source for drip feeding, which is
Ah,
what people call that, I think, most of the time. But you have such a more sophisticated controller with the Masso that I would assume it probably lets you. What we use it's just ridiculous. It's a landing zone, and then I pull files in to the machine from there. Just
and you're
makes it
doing that
slightly
on the
faster
mill control? Ah,
with like 12 button pushes. It's absurd.
well, maybe this isn't going to work for me then. Because I
It
think
might it
both
might work though.
might work. Yeah, it might run. I suppose maybe I might just not be able to do any file transfers while the machine's running. Maybe. Because both machines
I mean,
would run
honestly,
straight off the thumb drive in normal operation.
I would just I mean, I personally I think I would try not to just in case I just cuz it freaks me out, but
Yeah.
you seem to be able to fix that machine no matter what happens to it. So,
Oh my god. Week two of multicam Cameron being down. Decided compact flash cards are the worst thing ever.
they are
Compact
terrible,
flash
huh?
card readers are terrible. The whole thing.
Yep. Yep.
I bought a new
Ancient.
32 gig compact flash card because that's kind of the smallest I could find easily off the shelf, and flashed it
Too large.
successfully. Operating had a backup like .image file of the multicam from a year ago. Flashed that. Flash looked great. put it in the machine, same boot error. Might be something else going on entirely, but I suspect maybe it's old Windows 98 CE, whatever it is, can't cope with a large CF card. So I've ordered a
Really is
pre-loved.
1 gig cards.
Oh yeah, I'm discovering all these like pre-owned. There's a whole market for like small pre-owned
Yep.
CF cards. Crazy.
I was told at first when we bought the mill, I had to buy Fanuc branded CF cards,
Oh yeah.
which were $160 a piece
Uh huh.
US. Or you find them on the black
Industrial.
market, like you're saying, like a secondary market. And then I bought like a SanDisk one or something, and it just worked fine. I was like, cool, that was $9. All right. Now just
And it worked
make
okay.
sure you eject it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm drip feeding for this project because I've got some files that are like well over my 500 KB storage limit. The one side of this looks like a fancy snowshoe has 28 pockets that I have to machine like adaptive machine into
That's a lot of
and
code.
then clean up the walls and finish it. Yeah, it's just I could like break it up into a million files, but anyway,
Mm.
it's been killing my computer to process the rest machining. It's just
Ah, really?
I don't know what it is. It feels like there's a glitch, honestly.
Interesting. I that big Eagle rebate solid timber job I was during the week had some monster files, and I was had 2 or 3 CNCs down. I was like, I do not want to kill my only working machine by giving it some 20 meg NC file and destroying its
Yeah.
control. And so I broke it up into operations, and they were still big
Yeah.
files for what it's used to. But I loaded up and ran pretty well. But yeah, it's
Do you
funny
use
that game.
smoothing much?
I do. Yep, I increased the tolerance heaps and use smoothing, and that made a big
I've gotten
difference.
really
Interesting.
good at making like files that would normally be megabytes down to like
Yeah,
300 KB.
yeah. I was playing that game. Um, I was curious, like this job. It was a $5,000 machining job, I think. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
clients a lot supplied material. I didn't. I kind of looked at the pile of pre-machined black butt that came in. I was like, wow, that's a lot of timber. That's worth a bit of cash.
Right.
Hope I don't stuff it up. And it's just the classic thing when you've got client supplied material. It's like, what if, what if I scrap it?
Oh,
I could have had a
right.
collet slip on the finishing operation and plunge into and not catch it in time and wipe out, a day of machining
That
slash all the material. And it's like, what do you do?
right.
Thankfully, I've never had any incidents of like destroying high value client material. Touch wood, but
I haven't either.
yeah, I don't
I
know what
freak.
happens in
I
that
think about it
situation.
every time. Like, I mean, that job we didn't take, that was one of the biggest reasons. It was
Hmm.
my cost was like at least $4,000 for one sheet of aluminum if I messed up any part of it. I think, just like the amount of places and areas that could go wrong throughout the whole thing, it just like my friend said, you should budget at least in the quote to buy 2 of those.
That was
You
this
know?
is what I was thinking as well. It's like, yeah, you just have to budget for 2 of those.
Yeah.
Um,
Delivery.
cool. I'll sing you a song while Justin's talking to FedEx, or I'll describe what's on his back wall. He's got some awards. Oh no, they're McMaster catalogs. I thought they were trophies.
Oh my. Oh, those are the McMaster
Yeah, they're huge.
tomes. Can you see them up there?
Yeah, I can. I thought they were trophies for
It's
something.
gonna take that wool down.
Not Nakwal.
What I just got.
What'd you get?
Not Naquo. I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't. That's the best surprise presents in the mail that you don't remember buying.
I don't know what that was. Anyway, you made me think
Yeah.
about so like I've been doing a little more research. Somehow our China imports are still fine. I just ordered more tool holders. The prices didn't skyrocket yet, and I don't know
Good.
why, which is just like par for the course with the situation. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's supposed to be enacted, but maybe there's a pause again.
Carry
I don't
on.
know, but like just chatting with them about they have just a wealth of different types of things, and it's interesting to see like what people use. Pretty good relationship with I guess they're a salesperson there, and we chat quite a bit about, they're like, oh, my European customers use these things, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know like the one thing that came up was hydraulic tool holders for ISO 30. Have you ever used or
Ah,
heard of
cool.
this?
Nope. Didn't know it was a thing.
I've only heard of them for milling, basically, and we have a couple. We inherited one with the mill, and then I bought another one from Haas, and they're very pricey. They're like, even from Haas on a sale, it was $240 or something like that, and the cullets are each $40. But part of their perk is like you don't pull out a tool, like it doesn't come out,
Okay.
like super run out. They're really good at dampening vibration. They're huge and bulky looking, but that's part of the like dampening
Okay.
capability. Runout's really good. Um, I just was going to ask because I had never seen an ISO 30 version and they sent me photos and I was like, well, that's pretty interesting. And I don't know if there's really a market for it. Like,
Hmm. Don't
pretty
know.
costly.
I've seen heat shrink on
Yeah.
ISO 30 or not. No, what's the other one? That's similar. Anyway, can't remember. But no, I haven't come across that. Don't know. I mean, I was thinking about this as I was setting up the tools for this job. I was like, I don't remember seeing collets on any invoices for years. Like, I don't know the last time we did like a fresh collet order and sort of changed out
Yeah.
all our essential tooling collets. And, I feel like I think I've got a good sense of how a healthy collet feels versus a flogged collet in terms of how much spring tension they still have in them
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But it's like, I hope these collets are okay. I hope
We,
my pull studs are tight, which I've never checked ever.
yeah, I mean, that's what led me down the path of sourcing our own was I couldn't get pull studs to stay in the stupid cheap tool holders I was buying off
Oh, really?
Amazon. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, these are very poorly machined, obviously, or something. It's just not mating. I couldn't get them. I'd torque them right, and they would come out, and I was just like, it terrified me to think like this is going to come loose in the spindle, and then you've sent this 20,000 RPM missile around your shop. You know, when the bottom half comes off. But the same with the
Pew!
nuts. The nuts also would either get stuck or be too loose, and I was just like, this is
Yeah.
not worth saving this much money. I've seen ISO 30. I've seen shrink fit and interesting. The other thing is
Mm.
drill chucks. We're probably going to offer those pretty soon here. If you
Want
have
that?
any of those? It's like yeah, it's a the kind of concept that I use them for is like we have some for the mill and the router. It's like you want to drill something, but you don't either have the collet or a spare tool holder, and you're just going to use it for this one job real quick. Like you use they call it keyless, but you still use a little half-sided wrench to tighten them up, but they are
Oh, so it's just
adjustable.
a drill chuck. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like on a drill
Yep.
press, drill chuck. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, cool. Okay. What's the run out supposed to be like on those bad
That's a good
boys?
question. I should find out. I've never had
All I can picture is like wibbly
problems.
wobbly drill press. Like, whoa, let's
No,
drill
nothing
hell,
like that.
boys.
No, they're balanced pretty. You can't spin them 20,000 RPMs, but like
Yeah, sure.
I don't know why you would ever be drilling with that. Have you ever accidentally spun up a drill way too fast? It's terrifying.
Yeah.
It turns into like a noodle.
And then floppy noodle. Whee!
Yeah. That was tool holder talk with Justin and Jim.
Wow. Sexy time.
Tell me about your robots.
Not a
How are
huge
they?
amount to
Have you made
report.
any conjugal visits?
No, I haven't this week. They are main one, which I've dubbed Ingrid, is getting serviced by ABB either
Oh,
today or Monday. And then once that's done, I'll go back down and do some more stuff there. Um, Coming along. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm freaking out a little bit because cash flow is tight, and
yeah.
I'm trying to sell pretty hard at the moment just to build up some cash so I can finish paying off the robots and pay that stupid supplier that undercharged us all last year. That's coming up in a week or so. I've got to pay out that
Ugh.
cash, and it's just that bad timing. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, things and stuff. But robot wise, yeah, haven't not much happening in that space other than just thinking about where I might put them and how I might use them. Continuing to learn how to program them. I had some success. I downloaded the Fusion Post for ABB
Oh,
and 5-axis Post, and I did some test
that's a that's a
five-axis
thing. You can
programming.
simulate a
You can't
you can simulate it.
simulate in Fusion. No, I mean you
You've
can, but
just
it's
got
got
like
no
a.
idea what the kinematic chain is. It's just like dual direction.
Is
Um,
there not an add-on?
yeah, I've had a look around. Fusion. I don't think the machine tool builder would cope with building a 6-axis thing to simulate. But I did post successful code and I put it through RoboDK, which is the simulation software I've got, and it worked. I did its thing and it simulated beautifully and wrote crispy code. So that feels like a great start.
Interesting.
Um,
Yeah.
that was kind of a bit of an unlock of like, cool, if I can post stuff from Fusion, then I'm well ahead in terms of where I thought I might be at this stage. So that
I
is good.
honestly am
It's good.
surprised that you're going to get any fusion posting out of it. I thought that that would end up having to be some other software like that. I can't remember the name, the one you found that he
Sprite Cam.
uses. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I chatted to him about Sprite Cam in more detail last time I was there, and he ran me through some 3D programming and stuff. And I was like, hang on, how much is a seat of this? And he was like, oh, about, I spent about, there's different versions. I spent about $12,000 on this seat.
Oh,
And
so
I
it's
was
a
like,
thousand.
oh, okay. And he was great. He was like, don't, he basically said, don't buy it. He's like, well, just wait for the right job to come along because it will. There'll be, $100,000 machining job that might come along. Just budget it in then. But,
There will be.
you can
That's interesting.
get away with it before then. So
Hmm.
yeah, keep that in my back pocket. But meanwhile, Fusion looks like a goer. So whilst I'd love to noodle around with Grasshopper and Rhino and get some cool simulation toolpath happening in there, which is definitely possible, Fusion's the go, I think. But I'm also going to catch up with Lee from Twig and Bot next week. Go and do a shop tour
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've chatted to him about what he uses before. I can't remember which program it is. Hi, Lee. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
So yeah, things and stuff. Buh. I don't
What
know.
is does Lee have ABB or Finna
No, Kuka.
or Kuka?
Yeah.
Pick a flavor.
Also orange.
And and this is much different to program for than it would be if I was just picking one of three different three-axis manufacturers of mills, right? Like they're like very uniquely like different programming capabilities or something between the different makers.
Yeah, yes, they have their own language. As in
It's kind of a nightmare.
Kuka, Fanuc, and ABB all have different programming languages, as I understand it.
And then you are and wow,
Yeah, and then Cobot World.
didn't realize
So
it
yeah,
was that
although I think Cobots
messy.
run something that's closer to Python, which is cool.
Oh right,
Um,
yeah,
but yeah. Um,
interesting.
hmm. But yeah, just dealing with more like the pencil sharpener. Everything that could have gone wrong with the pencil sharpener this week has gone wrong. I think Rowan and I were joking the other day of like
Uh,
with John away, we just mustn't have been doing the right sacrifices in the morning or something. I don't know, like what it wants from us, but thankfully John's back on Monday.
it wants another
It's
robot.
just like issue after issue, so many variables in the system. I had it like drive off its during a homing cycle. It went past its soft limits, past its hard limits, and like broke the lid off the its enclosure, trying to like home its way up into
Let
the
me
sky.
out!
Get me out of here! And so, I heard this
We had a
crashing sound as it lifted the
we
roof
had a
off.
cheap 3D printer that would try to lift off its gantry, but that was $100. So and never made anything successfully.
So yeah, it's just been one of those weeks. But yeah. Mm.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, the one PS issue that led to a positive update actually was the had a bearing seize in the saw arbor, the cutoff saw, and I don't know how long it's
Yeah.
been seized because when I pulled it apart, I could see like the heat rubbing. And
Hmm.
it's been sounding crap, and it's been more wobbly than usual for ages. So it could have been
Yeah.
sometime. Anyway, it was great because John and I have talked about rebuilding the saw for a while. So I was like, cool, I guess this is the time. And I pulled it apart and cut it open, broke the ClearPath stepper, trying to smash the bearings out of the assembly, and the whole like cover off the ClearPath
Hmm.
fell off. Thankfully, the servo reassembled and still works. But we got this awesome neighbor who restores $1 million 1930s race cars, and I walked around
Hmm.
there and was like, "Oh, can you turn us a new saw arbor, please?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, sure. Got some 4140. Young Brandon here can do that for you." And less than 24 hours later, had a beautiful new bearings, manually
Good.
machined part, delicately,
Crazy.
refined to be a great fit on the bearings, and so, yeah,
It's a
lovely,
lot more skill than I have. I
pretty
just my
nice.
manually machined is like I go back to Fusion and I'm like change the decimal point. Ting, ting,
Yeah,
ting,
yeah,
ting. Oh
exactly.
nope, post again.
Nope, damn it.
I have
Uh,
figured out how to. It's messy and it scares me, but I have figured out how to dial things in on the mill with offsets.
mm,
I don't love it, but you
like
know,
tool wear, comp, that sort of stuff.
yeah. But
Mm.
the trick is like for like a soft jar, like these Pearson vacuum plates. They're like a 20 by 13 and a half top plate that covers up a vacuum grid, and you have to machine into the top, put a gasket in, and then make one drill through that's like I think it's 4 mil or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what
Yeah,
pierces
yeah.
it. It's veil, and
Don't stuff it up.
that part's a little sketch because you can see it in the model too. You've got like just this tiny little gap where you either go too far, and the damn machine's so accurate. Like I've gotten used to those kind of things, but it's just yeah, sketchy feeling. I don't know
You were
where I was going with
saying
that. I'm
last week
not
you
sleeping
had
enough.
your probe cycle just wasn't working at all. Did you get anywhere with that?
No, I haven't had time to mess
Yeah.
with it. It would have been nice. It's always worked fine for setting offsets like manually.
Okay.
When I run the cycles on the machine or set up, I think they came with the machine basically. I don't. What I can't do is post from Fusion.
Mm.
It worked until it went to record data, and then the file it was either trying to create a reference was like, I don't know where that is, and I don't know what that meant exactly. Haven't gotten back to it.
Mm.
And whatever LLM I was using was completely useless. They're like, "Oh yeah, that's a file. You should have that file." And I was like, "Where do I get that file? Do I make
Where?
it?" But
Yeah.
yeah, you should have that file. What?
It was like me with Chatter the other day when I messaged you. I just felt so silly. It's like trying to install
Oh,
Chatter from GitHub. It's like, but it where? Where's the file to
yeah.
download?
I've clicked around it enough that I
Professional
was like, it's
Git
got to be in
user
here somewhere.
Justin came to the rescue. So it's just here, Jim.
Yeah. I love when people look at. Well, I also feel stupid when people do that to me, but I'm also like, thank God somebody found it.
Meow meow. So I think we're both
Let's
on a
see.
short time frame today, but I would love to
Yes.
do a little Patreon video with you about machining hourly rates. Because machining that eagle
Mm.
during the week, I was like, I'm not charging enough for this sort of work. But that it was interesting because the job went well and it came in under budget,
Yeah.
and I still had a very
Oh.
strong sense of like I should have charged a lot
Mm.
more. I should be charging a lot
Right.
more per hour for this sort of rate of work. So that's something we should chat about at some point. So I'd break down that stuff.
Yeah. I I
Yeah.
I'm the opposite where I need to analyze my cost rates, I think, again, because I
Mm.
feel like I'm not appropriately, yeah, doing that part of it. Not to cut off our future discussion, but my theory typically is that anytime you feel like you should charge more, you should charge more. Like legitimately.
But
Like,
that feeling usually comes after the fact or during.
oh yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
always like one of the projects we did recently, I was like afraid that it was going to be too much for the client. You know, you go from this whiplash of like, this looks like too much money, and then you do the job, or you're in the middle of it, and you're like, damn it, that was nowhere
Damn
close to
it.
enough. You know, like, what? This took me way longer than I thought. Or even if you knew, sometimes I know it's going to take a lot longer than I can charge. It's just silly, which is a bad sign, right? Like, anyway,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
we
know that
should.
feeling of like you're quoting, you're looking at the total value. It's like, no, no way. Can't charge that much. And then you do it. You're like, hmm.
Yes,
And
right.
then you're like trying to set up, 30 sticks of black butt on the table at once and somehow clamp them when it's already over your machine cutting envelope.
Yeah, I saw that.
And
It was like
you're like,
hanging
whoa,
over.
this is way more prep work than I allowed for in terms of machine setup.
Yes.
Thankfully, I'd overcompensated in my like just machine
Oh,
time by a decent factor, so all that was covered.
right.
But yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, the automatic algorithm in Airtable worked for once and overcooked the machine time, so win-win.
Hmm.
And the
Yeah,
client's super happy. They sent me a
balanced
photo of
out.
it yesterday, all installed. Yoo-hoo!
So that thing was loose. It wasn't glued together.
Nah, that was loose sticks
Was it
with
vibrating?
a little bit. They had MDF
Oh.
packers between each layer to simulate the final layer of like air gaps of how it was going to be displayed on the wall.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was a bit of
Wild.
vibration because it was just impossible to get it fully like clamped and tight across that
Yeah.
full 1300 width. But it worked. Did the job. I'll send you a photo of what it
Right.
looks like on the wall so you can see.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. What's the deal with your YCM? I know you're.
Oh, you know,
Have you
every time
been
I'm deep into
thinking?
working on it again, I get to this place of like, I just am constantly analyzing, like, should I sell it? Should I upgrade the storage? And I don't know what I
Yeah.
wrote scissors down for. That makes no sense to me, unless you're screwing with me. I don't know.
Could be me. I don't
ICM
know.
dilemma. Scissors. It might have been an autocorrect. I think I was on my phone with that. I don't know. Scissors. Uh, it just it. I have a love-hate relationship with it because I'm making these parts that are like giant, and I'm maxing out the table area on this big pallet that's got a vacuum pallet on top of it, and I'm like within thousandths of an inch of tolerances I'm supposed to hit, and it just never has like running problems. It's only programmer or operator or user interface problems.
Mm.
But there's this big hang up always where like we just don't, I don't know how to say it. It's like too outdated for what kind of machines we're good with, like, or used to. I don't know how to
Mm.
say. It just doesn't feel like the vibe is off. Where it's like, sure, why spend $100,000 on a machine when you've got one? But what if I could make another $500,000 with a different machine because I feel more comfortable and I'm more quick at moving through it, over
Mm.
its few year life or something versus like, oh no, it's that internal memory is too small, or um, I can't automate that, or I don't have a chip. It's all these little things. I'm It's the same problem I bitch about, but I'm trying to like come at it from like a more potential like loss of opportunity or like business loss
Mm.
opportunity mindset of like it's got a lot of value still. Um,
Does, and you got a great
I
deal
don't
on it. Yeah, it's a
right.
tricky one. Hey, I don't know. It depends. I guess it depends what your lead flow is like for that sort of work. If you've got the leads for it, and you're saying no to work because
Right.
of machine friction,
I think I mostly
either
think of, I mean,
yeah,
at this point, I don't really consider job shop work as a workflow
yep,
thing that I'm gonna be like buying for because it just doesn't.
cool.
It's not the thing we're prioritizing. So it's mostly like products and like automation. Like this is the first time in a long time we've had like we're finishing this big job. Our sale went really well and we sold out of all of our pedestal parts basically.
Great.
So we have to remake all of them, but it's like behind the job shop work. And there's another
Mm.
product we have to make aluminum parts for, and it's just like if this could run all night, you know, we
Mm.
could catch up right now.
Yeah, yeah,
A little
yeah.
different problem. It's not common, I guess.
Mm. Don't know. Tricky one.
Yeah.
I think yeah,
Uh-huh.
you're a bit right. I don't know, man.
Yeah, there's no good answer to it.
No, there really isn't.
Make money with the thing I have probably is the answer I
Yep.
keep coming back to, and I just don't like it.
It's the boring answer, but yes, it's probably the right one.
You're buying robots and I'm buying nothing. I feel jealous.
Oh, yeah, sorry. We'll see. We'll see how that
A,
goes.
a quick side thought that I
Yeah.
just want to throw out or copy from With Intolerance as an idea that Zapatini said I just really liked, and I haven't had the chance to try it. But he was talking about how he's been dumping user manuals, especially for like he's always dealing with so many other people's machines, right? It's
Hmm.
usually not his because he has like one VF4, so it's not hard to like find information about that. But either trying to help clients or something, he's just been throwing the user manuals into GPT
Yep.
and then asking it questions, which I've done.
Me
But
too.
what I think he might have said this or they said this, I was thinking it would be useful for us if I can find the right medium for it, would be throw in basically every user manual from our shop. They're almost all on Airtable somewhere, so that it's like the internal help desk of equipment.
Cool.
So anybody can ask like, how do I don't know, change the oil on the cotton picker? Like I don't know what,
Yeah, it'd be an interesting thing to test. I've had
or just gets confused.
mixed results. Like, I would be wary of making one place for that, like just in terms of mixing contexts. Like, I
Hmm.
feel like you give it an 1,000-page PDF manual. I haven't fully tested it, but I don't really trust how good it is going to be keeping context on that one document versus
Yeah. Right.
having whole stuff in there. But maybe they're capable of it now. I don't know. I just haven't tested it for a while.
Yeah. I mean, it
Um,
would be ideal if that did work
yeah, totally.
well
You're cool.
and keep adding to it. And especially if you used it kind of like on an enterprise shared, like it's not separate. Like Ricky and I don't have separate ones.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Hmm. Yeah,
Anyway,
it's a cool idea.
scissors.
I'll definitely be doing a lot of that with these ABBs. A lot of. Please help me sort out the rat's
1700.
nest of this PLC controller from 2003.
Right.
I want to connect an e-stop. Which wire? Which wire? I'll do your video thing that you told me about. Live stream
Oh,
to chatty.
I love
That'd be
it.
sick.
I love it. I I think about that all the time. So I've said this here before. Another of my continual gripes about the YCM is it is impossible to find other people's information about this machine. Like there's nobody writes about it on the internet. Nobody makes videos about it. They don't. It's in
Yeah.
Chinese if they publish it, and which isn't published. The manuals I have are converted from Chinese in PDF. So it's like there is no like the LLM isn't helpful. I can look up the controller type, but it's not the flavor I have. So it's just that part as a aged millennial is tough for me. Like I'm like used to just like, oh, I'll just Google LLM it, and there's just nothing.
Can't you get the robots to translate all the Chinese manuals effectively?
I have not made this is my primary need for this. Well, he said he's gonna get Zap said he's gonna get RTFM across his knuckles. Read the fucking manual and call that his GPT.
Oh,
But I was
Zap.
gonna make one for the YCM specifically because that's really my top issue
Yeah.
machine
Yeah.
for like, oh, what is this code that came up suddenly? I don't know what that means.
Mm, cool. Do it.
Uh-huh. Short
That's
show
probably.
today. Justin was late. We
Yeah,
both have
that's
lots to
probably it
do.
for me. I got to keep going too.
Mm-hmm.
Off to the kid farm
Catch,
for
catch,
me.
go subscribe to the Patreon. We will do a special show for once on Jem's quoting thoughts.
And
Our quoting
Justin's.
thoughts.
Yes. Cool bananas.
Yes. Goodbye.
Go play with your vacuums. Have fun.
Oh,
Happy
I
mailing.
will. Mm-hmm.
Bye.
That's like perfect time.